E vamos começando mais uma grande final aqui de Mianmar. Mais uma equipe aí foi classificada com a vitória da MYTH e vai estar legendado. Infelizmente não tem nenhum locutor em BR em brasileiro. E é isso, pessoal. Espero que gostem e vamos lá.
A bold pick for YG, but I think that might just be the right pick to extend the series, to force out a game number 7. This is the typical YG that we see. Renmar, bring us to game 6.
This could be destiny finally achieved by Mythic Seal, or for Yangon Galacticos to just deliver another nightmare, to force another game 7 against a team that has a history of dropping in those scenarios. Game 6, Grand Finals for the Super League of Myanmar. Again, I'm still absolutely gobsmacked by the draft swerve of Yangon.
Same here. YG have truly been the better team when it comes to draft. And Mythic Seal, the ways that they've been able to win, it really has been through these hero moments from these individual players. Ken, already this game, starting off with that typical risk-taking style of Mythic Seal, a triangle pattern start to the game to get to level 4, possibly a level advantage by the time Turtle 1 spawns.
He's acknowledging the fact that at whatever point of the jungle, there will be someone invading. Earlier in the bottom lane, it was Hilda, now it's Han!
Abyssal Arrow, the trap also there! Han with first blood, Mythic Seal start the game with a big hurdle right in front of them. Another Abyssal Arrow forcing Boye to flicker out.
Not the start that you wanted if you're Ken, but the start that Yangon definitely set up for themselves. The info that Ying got in the bottom lane, that Ken was here, his timing going into the purple buff, and Han plus the arrow coming in from Blink was just perfect. That was Yangon showing Mythic Seal, we read your rotation, we know what you're gonna do.
And it goes to show once again, Ken won a pick that's not his comfort. Will always start the game somehow as the guy who gets first blooded. 0-2 is the average start for the Hayabusa in the playoffs so far. Blink again, finding an arrow on this pick on the Selena. Ken looking for a play in the bottom lane. Will be looking for the quad shadow here, but will not be able to fully commit onto it. Under the turret, even with the Star Shatter. Not enough. The Star Shatter had it landed, would have been a free kill over. A disaster to start things for Mythic Seal. It's a kill and a turtle for YG.
Lina hugged the wall just right at the very tip of the animation. And Han decides to invade yet again, although the purple buff hasn't spawned yet. Ying is here to pressure, Kun is here to help. Ken already brought down solo. Ying flickers forward, and Ken has started 0-2. The average that you've mentioned, Mirko.
The curse of Hayabusa for Mythic Seal. The curse of Hayabusa for Ken. It just can't be thrown away. It can't be lifted. Not here. YG are doing all they can to keep that curse alive. Whoa, a weird retribution from Han. Actually, in a twist of fate, Ken, despite the 2 deaths, will still be able to get his purple.
He unintentionally peeled for his opposing jungler. Somehow, Han fumbled that retribution. I don't know, was he intimidated by the presence of Boya or something, it looks like? Let's just give it at that.
Oh, man.
Still, though, Ken finds a little bit of breathing room, a bit of a miracle that he's still able to get a purple buff in this scenario, as the lead for the Baksha is starting to balloon. The 2 gold laners, 1-1 just has a little bit more gold, but Zippy's still close enough in terms of the farm to say that it's still competitive in the gold lane.
Really just looks like a dash of fate, you know, a pinch of destiny at that point, getting the purple buff leashed for you in a situation like this when you start the game 0-2, losing Turtle 1. But it does mean that Mythic Seal have yet another chance given to them at this point by the gods of the game. To try to qualify.
Yeah, at that point you could tell the universe just told Ken, we feel bad for you, bro. Here's some moments so that you can at least get a buff and remain competitive in the turtle. Zippy getting so much pressure, but he's avoided the abyssal arrows and even avoided some traps here and there. The right time, he has Hunter Strike with him. If Mythic Seal somehow get this, definitely the universe is smiling at Ken and Mythic Seal.
Good cancel on the shield unity. Blink unable to get the traps down here. No pressure. Kun able to control it again. Now it's going to all in onto the back. Good CC from Boye to cancel the retribution. It'll just be the turtle take, but Kun decides to take the Infernal Pursuit, leaving it to be a 2-for-1 trade. An Abyssal Arrow landing on the purple buff. Han, no retribution. Ken will try his best to get it and will be able to secure it.
They decide to back off. No kill secured yet for Mythic Seal. Oh no, Blink eats an arrow! Zippy trying to hold on! Can he survive? He does not! Blink finally lands the arrow onto Zippy, and he punishes him for it.
For every win of Mythic Seal, there's a bigger loss somewhere on the map, somewhere in the fight. It could have just been a 2-for-1, 2 kills for the turtle to stabilize the game, but Zippy was ganked. YG really pushing the tempo, really understanding that this composition needs to snowball in the early game. Ying is 4-0-0. This is literally the best route that YG could have possibly chosen for the Hilda, the man who can bully Novaria, Granger, and Hayabusa to be the one with 4 kills at the start of the game.
That's why Yangon decided to not go for an assassin. They knew the Hilda was more than enough. That landing Abyssal Arrows and Han going in at the right time would be enough. That they had the tools to pressure the back line. And the Hilda pick that once we saw it, we knew the absolute pain Ken and Mythic Seal would have to go through is the one absolutely shining for Yangon. Stitch goes bottom and will be able to take the tower there, but it's a cross-map trade for objectives as Mythic Seal get the tower up top. Still, 3,000, very close. Kun forced to flicker out so that he doesn't get arrowed, but Ken sees the Hilda and backs off.
YG are within their power spike. Stitch has just been farming up a notch, a whole level lead for the gold laner. Stitch, again with the pressure in the mid lane, can go and do whatever he pleases at this point of the game. There's no CC that can lock him down with that second skill. Zippy Cutie pops in and buys the Sky Piercer, but look at the damage! Oh, Ken forced to use the Quad Shatter defensively already. A shot for the Star Shatter tickles Han. A free neutral objective once more to YG.
And it's starting to look even worse for Mythic Seal as that turtle going to them means Yangon will now have full control at this portion of the game, and it will take a major error from Yangon Galacticos for Mythic Seal for them to be able to turn it around. Han is too farmed up, too tanky. Stitch way too comfortable in the farming that even if he somehow gets picked, there'll be a hard guard waiting for him. Zippy was safe, but he still somehow got hit by an Abyssal Arrow by Blink. We might just actually be already going to a Game 7. Mythic Seal, they can't escape the shadows of that Game 7, man.
They really can't. Back-to-back arrows, too, from Blink. Who, again, is on a pick that we call the desperate pick. But when you're this good, no wonder. No wonder it was the game changer. No wonder they put all their marbles into the Selena pick, into the Angela, too. They know that they have enough damage. This will be a big problem for YG as we get into the later stage of the game, though. That's the only hope that Mythic Seal are trying to hope for at this point. Like, it's just YG having, I would say, a composition that falls off. A Winter Crown will deal with the 1-1, a Wind of Nature, same goes. And then just a few Athena Shield Radiant Armor, I think just that is already enough to deal with Blink.
Yeah. Radiant Armors especially, because once Stitch gets into the realm of building that Wind Talker, that crit build 1-1, then definitely that's going to help with the magic damage dished out by that item. So Mythic Seal, they have to hold on to that, but they cannot slip anymore. They cannot lose big fights. If someone's going to fall, you back out instantly. You don't try to trade it out. You really have to start minimizing your losses here. Looking at the two mid laners, it's good that Nico has been able to keep a gold lead over the Angela, who's been focused a bit more on supporting, has the glowing wand, has the enchanted talisman, but then at this point you need 4 items on that Novaria to really start feeling the pain or to start forcing some desperate moves from YG. Zippy's farm is there as well, but then again there's another layer of problems. The Selena's Abyssal Arrows landing, and look at where Ying is, man. He could single-handedly win this fight for YG.
He could. Nico shoots the Star Shatter. If he walks up a bit too aggressively over, oh, it's going to be Ken. Ying knows it.
He sees him.
Look for the angle. He knows that there's no one there to follow it up, so there's no reason for him to display or to show just yet. A flank position still being held down. Lord going to be reset again as a slow push builds up in the bottom lane, creating this forced error for Mythic Seal. They're going to have to make a decision here.
Yeah, no one's checking where the Hilda is just yet. Ken's conceal onto Lina.
Quan Shadow landing as well. It will be a kill. Tsunami Slam, though. I think it was a bit unnecessary. Lina taken down. Still has the Shadow kill, but there's no Tsunami Slam. YG will choose to play it slow.
Yeah, that's roughly 30 plus seconds before the ultimate of the Kalea comes back. It's already been 10 to 15 since that has been used, but Mythic Seal, they decide to try and rush. They're forcing something out of YG.
Good Astral Echo, revealing them in the back line. Kun able to go in for the back as well. Dealing so much damage, jumping with Infernal Pursuit and jumping onto Han. Star Shatter, not going to land on the right target. Crossbow Tang is popped up by Stitch. Lord low, Han is down. Ken wants to go for it. A retribution to seal the deal. And Ken secures the Lord, buying a bit more time for Mythic Seal to continue to scale.
They want to deny that game 7. And Ken, patient. Maybe not just in game, but for his entire career with Mythic Seal, patient, trying to find that right time. And he gets the retribution to shorten the lead of YG. And to increase the chances that Mythic Seal can get more farm, get more space, get more objectives to end it in this game 6. What a play, not only by Ken, but for the entirety of Mythic Seal to stop the engagement of Han.
The artillery, you can really feel it now. They wanted to get the gold lead early so that they can do this all the way from the start, but the fact that it only happens now in the 11th minute should show you just how deadly this combination can be. The Novaria, the Granger, when you get ahead, when there's so much pressure on the map that you can't walk up, that range will quite literally burst you down, and Stitch felt that damage. A Star Shatter and an Astral Echo to help the Death Sonata land even easier. Bottom lane tier 2 taken down. YG doing a good job at clearing the waves, and it will not be the biggest of gold lead moves and swaps, but it's something. Mythic Seal are back to level.
And now it's the alarms are blaring at the camp for Yangon Galacticos now that they have to make sure that every engagement from here on out is sharp, that it is on point. Stitch gets taken down from 100 to 55% with just one Star Shatter. 100% now. The pressure is on Yangon to not mess up, to play the cleanest team fights, because one team fight that was just not the approach that they wanted was the turnaround moment. Once Han went in and Boye got that title strike first activation, the suplex on that Vaksha, stopping him, Mythic Seal, they backed off at the right time and then re-engaged and then got the Lord. We've seen this all throughout the playoffs for Mythic Seal. They're good for that longer engagement, that push and pull. They're really crafty with it. So Yangon needs to be sharp.
Definitely do. Wind of Nature already in the inventory of Stitch with the Malefic gun too. Item-wise, this is where we start to see that fall-off, I would feel. Wind of Nature for Zippy, but for Mythic Seal, I think the main item that they need to get to deal with Stitch should be the winner crowns for their frontliners. Kun, in this game, I think he's just fallen behind so much that he can't really afford to win a crown. He has to go for some more defensive items before he does it, before he commits to that build. But truly, if they want to win, they're going to have to deal with it. Tsunami Slam to try to dodge away from the Shield Unity. It's an all-in, but it's onto the Baksha. So far, good damage. Now the Quan Shadow also on Han, but Ken will stick to his guts and save the Shadow kill.
No more ultimate for the Angela. No more ultimate for the Baksha. That decision by YG to try and pick Boye, and the fact that Boye was still able to get the Tsunami Slam off in time to reposition that fight, this might actually end up becoming so bad for YG in the long run. They will try to contest. It's do or die.
Do they have the info that he already used the Retribution? It seems like they don't. They restarted again. Han with the Shield Unity. Now Han has the Retri back up. That advantage is completely gone. The ultimates are slowly but surely coming back too. Lina, just a bit more for the hard guard to come back, and Mythic Seal will have to reset. We'll have to send someone back up top to manage the waves.
It was too close to count. Mythic Seal didn't want to risk it anymore. By the time it got close enough for them to actually win the Retribution, it was just 2 more seconds. Now YG re-engage as they know that there are members of Mythic Seal opening up the map. Astral Echo, this doesn't look good for Mythic Seal.
Slow poking game for Mythic Seal. YG knows it. An Abyssal Arrow lands on Kun. A Shield Unity as well. Gonna be cancelled out by Kun with a good Dark Wave. Now an all in onto the back where Tsunami Slam knocking him down. And another Star Shatter. But Ying is able to flicker out. No engage as Kun does the same. Disengage already. A wave in the mid lane. Taking it to tier 2 for free. Stitch, half HP, has to back away for a bit. Mythic Seal holding on to the Lord.
Moments like these are what separates boys from men and men from champions. One moment of heroism or one mistake is all that separates Mythic Seal and Yangon. Mythic Seal from finally securing an international slot and becoming the first ever Super League champions, and Yangon from forcing Game 7. Too close to call, but the difference makers are online. Nico hurts so much, and he is stopping every positioning that Yangon wants to do.
What a stun from Blink. He caught him right as Boye was on the wall. I think he popped in the flicker. This is an interaction that we've seen before. Let's see. Boye has a Tsunami Slam. We'll be trying to go for it already. That's going to be the arrow from Blink that lands on Ken on the Hayabusa. Han secures it for the team. Kun jumps in, but it's right onto Stitch. Ying will be taken down. It's going to be a big shutdown, a big bounty over with Blink falling as well. But YG were the ones who got the Lord.
They blinked and they missed it. The angle was found. He threaded the needle. Abyssal Arrow on the right guy. On the guy who was supposed to be the hero for the moment for Mythic Seal was the one who ate the Abyssal Arrow of Blink. What a play by the Selena. Desperate as the pick may be, it has showed up in this game when they count. But Mythic Seal can still defend this Lord without the problem. YG, it's their turn to buy time and buy space with a Lord they were able to steal away.
I don't know if they want to buy time though, Renmar. Again, YG, when it comes to the late game, they do fall off in damage. Winter Crowns have still not yet been built. And again, YG have just been trading equal despite getting the Abyssal Arrow on the right target, despite getting their proper win conditions in. If Mythic Seal play it right, if they don't get caught by that Abyssal Arrow onto one of the carries, this is still a Mythic Seal game to win. This is a game that they have taken all the way from the start, getting dismantled, getting dominated. They've weathered the storm truly. Fleeting time already for Boye too.
We wait for a moment. We wait for someone to turn something around. Mythic Seal are now deciding to play as 5, a very tight formation as YG are spread out. 1-3-1, 1-2-2, all evolving in different versions. 1-3, and they'll have the Angelos sitting back, as most Angelos usually do in this scenario, waiting for a good heart guard moment. Astral Echo. Nico has to be the guy right now. His Novario will be a difference maker. Zippy avoids an arrow and avoids getting bumped.
Big moves by YG. They really are just trying to bait out, just trying to feint out a flicker, a battle spell, right? A resource at least from Mythic Seal. If they get it, it's a massive value at this point of the game. Again, why this Selena can be a crazy game changer is the fact that there's no purifiers on the board for Mythic Seal. Here, in the 18th minute of the game, you get hit by that Abyssal Arrow in just an opposition by a bit, you're dead. You're gonna be taken out. There's so many members that can just follow it up. So much mobility on the side of YG. But it'll all come down to who gets this Lord. This is going to be an Evolved Lord spawning in the 18th minute of the game. And it might be the final Lord of the game.
Yeah, you see Mythic Seal doing everything they can to check the map, provide vision. Boye, oh no, this looks bad for Mythic Seal!
Tsunami Slam, Abyssal Arrow! Oh, so close from landing. Now it's going to be the all-in from Ken. Jumps in the Shadow Kill too. Yay! Taken down by Ken! One member down right as the Lord spawns in the game. Mythic Seal have a ticket that they want to punch in.
One member down, but they can still fight this out. But big ticket ultimates are gone. Mythic Seal, they have the ticket in their hands. Will they slip?
Blink taken down, crossbow attack ready, win a crown, but it's not timed in perfectly. Goes in on Zippy Cutie, has a win of nature, buys a little bit more time, but with the Angela, it turns everything around. Stitch going for the chase, Ken in the bush already, doesn't have the shadow kill, the quad shadow comes in, and will be able to escape Lina with the flicker forward. Ken jumps back in, and he goes back, but he's met by Lina, who was waiting there. Now it's YG who's pushing the tempo, a massive play for YG to save the day.
Nico has to be the hero. He'll use the Astral Echo, the Star Shatter. He won't have another one. He won't be able to steal it away unless somehow he doesn't. Just a bit too early. Han gets the retry. And now Yangon are gonna be knocking at the gates of Mythic Seal, knocking on the gates of Game 7. Mythic, they slipped.
The stars lined up for Mythic Seal, something we cannot guarantee in the final game, something we cannot guarantee in this Lord push. It is an Evolve Lord, and YG already had a very tanky lineup. This damage reduction as they group up together with the Lord might be too much for Mythic Seal to deal with, but fortunately for them, YG did not have time to manipulate the waves. It'll only be one wave coming down. An Abyssal Arrow landing in the back again! Shadow Kill already zoning them away from the Lord. Evolve Lord will be dealt with by Mythic Seal. And once again, they have miraculously stayed in the game.
Nico and Ken. Once Nico landed that Star Shatter, Ken smelled blood. He knew that he needed to pop that Shadow Kill to force them back, and it was the right call at the right moment. Just when we thought Yangon would be getting the victory with that push, they don't even get an inhibitor turret down, a base turret down. One is about to fall, but they do not succeed in their mission, and Mythic Seal have a chance to fight another day. But now the problem is staring them in their face. It's Stitch. It's Lina. It's the 1-1 and Angela combo. That crossbow of Tang feels like it lasts an eternity now at this point.
Yeah, I think it was on Kun too, right? Obviously, well played to Stitch, but Kun needs to be patient with his timing on the Winter Crown. He can't just pop it before the crossbow attack happens, because before it happens, Stitch, if you use the Winter Crown before it, Stitch has all the time in the world to wait and then use the crossbow attack. The rest of the team, even with the Winter Crown, wasn't able to get away from it, and that's why we saw a massive play from Stitch. Had he waited, even if he died, by the way, to Stitch's basic attack, it will be better than giving a crossbow attack translation over to Zippy Cutie. Patience is the name of the game for Mythic Seal. For Kun especially, they cannot panic in these moments.
Yeah. They have to be tight in their formation, and they really desperately have to conserve those flickers for making sure that they have enough space between them and the 1-1 that's going to be chasing after them. They spot Stitch, a lot of damage, Nico. Wow. He is single-handedly keeping Myth alive by landing the shots on that 1-1 to provide just an inch of more space.
Quite literally could have won them the game had he gotten the steal on the Evolve Lord as well.
Yeah.
Nico, what a fighter, what a warrior for Mythic Seal, man. Zippy Cutie in the mid lane, clearing it out. Prio for Mythic Seal all across the map. Top lane, bottom lane, even in the mid lane, Stitch has to be careful while clearing out the waves. He cannot get popped by Nico. And he has to be careful because they don't know where the Hayabusa is. Another shot taking Stitch very low. Has to walk all the way back to Lina.
Yeah. Too close to call. This might be the final big Lord fight. Who's gonna get it? Mythic Seal, Yangon!
An arrow landing as well. Stitch trying to go in. Boye, look at the play. Jumps onto Ying. Goes for Tsunami Slam as well. Kun gonna be taken down by Stitch as Ying drops his immortality. And perfectly timed Star Shatter. Luckily, the Abyssal Arrow only lands on Boye. And they've already used a big resource. No Heart Guard for a few seconds.
They needed that kill security. They needed to even out their losses. And Nico got it. There's another great Nico in esports known for popping heads, and if Nico wants to share the same space, the same air as him on that world stage, he definitely needs to be the hero now for Mythic Seal, and he got that shot. But can the rest of Mythic Seal find that opening? At this point, they're showing it, that they are desperately playing around the idea of that 1-1, that ultimate, that crossbow of Tang, and that heart guard. The push and pull yet again successful for Mythic Seal, while Yangon, they cannot slip on their discipline. They cannot be too aggressive in trying to end, or they will get punished by Mythic Seal.
It's funny that you bring that up, man. Nico known for popping heads, but he's also known as the best second place finisher of all time. Stitch gonna be engaged on. Shadow Kill, baiting out the Wind of Nature. Stitch already getting the hard guard and buying the immortality in time. Selling the Wind of Nature. No Shadow Kill, no Astral Echo. an opening for YG as they hold on to the Lord. Ying gonna walk up. Kun not able to get the Dark Wave in time. Abyssal Arrow going wide as well. Nico pops into Astral Meteors. Kun dives in all the way to the back. Has the winner crowd. Will be able to pop it in time as the crossbow tank gets used up and gets wasted down. Ken jumps in with the quad shadow. That's a kill over Han. Will lose his immortality. It's Zippy with a double kill. Mythic Seal might just do it here.
Push and pull. They've waited, and this may be the moment. But they're gonna try to end. They're not even gonna go for the Lord. They want to end it.
A risky play, a risky call. An Abyssal Arrow now into the backline on Nico. With a crown being bought, that's gonna be an all-in over to Nico. Flickers out the safety, but the bird is burning him down. Blade falls. Zippy Cutie finds the kill. The base is wide open. After 3 heartbreaking runs, Mythic Seal have broken through the doors of destiny. They finally rise to the international stage at MSC XEWC.
October 1st, May 18th, October 13th, all led to heartbreak. But now they can look at June 8th, 2025 as the date Mythic Seal have finally achieved the destiny long denied. What a final game to finally go international.
Ken was there when the dream was born, and when it broke again and again.